Story 1. Probably for the same reason many women like taller or slightly muscular men. It makes them feel feminine, while a petite woman can make a man feel masculine. Story 2. Petite women are cute. I guess it makes me feel big, strong, and protective. I open jars, reach shelves, and toss my little woman in bed. Her hand is small in mine. Tall Amazon women are also attractive. They make me want to have giant Viking children who conquer the world. My wife is 5 feet 7 inches tall, so I am kind of in the middle. Story 3. I do not have anything against non-petite women. However, I am not a big guy, so petite just mechanically works better. Story 4. I like women of all shapes and sizes. Petite women are typically seen as more feminine, and because I was raised with that perception in mind, my brain goes into protector mode if I am with one. I can't help it. With bigger and taller women, there is certainly an allure to them as well. Something I can only describe as, I want to be better because of them every time I have dated larger women. I have never dated a woman taller than I am, which is a shame because I think tall women are awesome. Story 5. I like how they stare up at me with little cute eyes. I like how I can wrap my hand around their arm and our fingers touch. I like everything about them being little and dainty and me being big and strong. Story 6. If they annoy you too much, you can roll them up in their yoga mat and stick them behind the couch until they calm down. Story 7. A friend of mine, even tall for a typical Dutch person, was dating a petite girl. She had to jump to kiss him. When we asked him what he saw in her, he put his beer can on top of her head and said, well, he had to sleep on the couch for a week. Story 8. I am short. I do not want to look up to kiss my wife. I definitely do not want to stand on a box to kiss her either. Story 9. They enjoy my active lifestyle. I dated thick and curvy girls. Every one of them complained about my active lifestyle and always wanted to do more sedentary activities. I decided to try dating thinner girls who were more active, and it was a night and day difference. I married a petite yoga enthusiast who ran cross-country and played tennis in college. Now we share an active lifestyle. Story 10. It feeds into the masculine ideal of being a big, strong protector. A petite woman can make an average man feel taller and stronger. Story 11. Sometimes these questions are like the time I was asked, why are breasts so attractive to men? I do not know, man. Ask Mother Nature. I seem to like petite women. Men do too. That does not mean I do not like non-petite women sometimes, but it just seems weird. Story 12. 5 feet 2 inches is the ideal height for me. My ex-wife was 5 feet 2 inches, and the current woman I am seeing is 5 feet 2 inches. As others have said, being able to pick them up and being taller than them when they wear heels is attractive. Also, grabbing items on the top shelf makes me feel like I am providing for them. Story 13. I am 6 feet 1 inch tall, and the height difference excites me. There is something appealing about picking up a mature woman for intimacy when her toes cannot touch the ground. Story 14. I am 4 feet 11 inches tall and petite but slim thick, weighing about 106 pounds. I have mostly dated 6 feet tall men. I have never had any issues in the bedroom. I was surprised that this was something people worry about, but I do sense that they like to dominate. Story 15. There is something about being able to wrap your arms around a woman that makes you feel like her blanket and shield. It is very rewarding to feel like you bring her comfort and safety. It is a type of intimacy that you honestly cannot get with a larger woman. You can have those same feelings, of course, but being able to hold her close like that truly makes it special. Story 16. As a not-so-tall guy, 5 feet 8 inches. They can wear heels and still be shorter than me. Also, all my t-shirts are big on her. It is easier to be the big spoon. They are also cuter and more adorable. Story 17. There is a cuteness to them for me. Same reason women like men over 6 feet 2 inches, but reversed. Also easier to pick up and carry. Story 18. I'm a solid man. Extra large shirt, 34-inch waist. I don't think I could make it work with a petite woman. When I see the group of girls at the bar, I look for the fuller-figured ones. Story 19. Women tend to be smaller than men. Petite stature is a sign of sexual dimorphism, and some people prefer that. For example, larger breasts and wider hips. Story 20. I do not care about that. I would rather have a good personality, intelligence, and humor than someone who fits a specific characteristic. Story 21. They are cute, and I enjoy being able to lift and carry my girlfriend. We had to screw something to the wall and could not find a stepladder, so I had her sit on my shoulders. The size difference is just fun. Story 22. I have been more attracted to girls who are shorter and slimmer than me my whole life. Being able to carry a girl, give her piggyback rides, lift her on my shoulders to see things, or just pick her up when cuddling are all significant benefits. I feel like I can protect her even though I am not a big, burly man. Story 23. Not my type. Give me a strong woman who could break my neck if she wanted to. This might explain why I was very enthusiastic when my fiancé started playing roller derby. Story 24. As someone who exclusively prefers petite women, for me it is like having a very cute pet. They look cute and cuddly. They also tend to be more delicate and gentle, which makes them more lovable. Story 25. I absolutely love petite women. For me, it is also because of how cute they are. It is not just a sexual attraction. They are great to hold in almost any scenario. I also feel very protective of them for some reason. Story 26. Some of us do not. I see comments about making a man feel more masculine, which confuses me. Are you also small that you need a petite woman to feel like a big man? The comments about throwing them around in a sexy way go along with the whole masculine thing. I do not know. Being able to throw around someone who is not petite will always make me feel stronger and more masculine than throwing around a person who barely weighs 100 pounds. To each their own, obviously. We all have different preferences. The reasoning behind some of these is just odd to me. Story 27. They are fit and healthy. You can also easily pick them up for many romantic gestures. Legs tired? Carry them. They sit on you and you do not get a dead leg. If they are annoying you, pick them up and sit them on top of the refrigerator for a timeout. Story 28. As a petite woman, I did not know about all these, but I needed to show the police officer my driving license many times because they always thought I was underage. Story 29. From a scientific standpoint, women with higher estrogen levels are usually shorter and have wider hips. That is why people often prefer petite women. Men with higher testosterone levels are usually taller, have broader shoulders, and a deeper voice. This difference is related to procreation. Story 30. Honestly, I like small petite women because I am 192 centimeters, 6 feet 4 inches, tall, and instinctively feel very protective of them. It feels good to protect someone beautiful and petite. I also like it because they are so light, and dancing saki dance, a South African ballroom dancing style, with them is easy. Doing all kinds of twirls, dips, and other moves feels effortless. My favorite girl I ever danced with was so light that I could literally pick her up and lift her into the air. Story 31. It's primarily a size thing. It has nothing to do with pedophilic ideation, as many seem to think, but it truly does not. Personally, I don't like a petite woman with a baby face in the first place. We like being the big man, to be blunt. It makes us feel more protective in public. Plus, there's something incredibly sexy about a super petite, confident adult woman. If you're a strong guy, then a large part of it, regardless of what anyone wants to deny, is the ability to easily handle them in the bedroom. Effortlessly flipping them over and taking physical charge, consensually of course, and I'd say a vast majority of them love and request it. If they love a big man and they're sexually charged, then you better believe they want to be tossed around like a rag doll and dominated in the bedroom. Plus, they're cute when they get mad. Not in the sense of trying to make her mad because it's cute, but more like she's upset about a difficult coworker. And it's so endearing to see her fuming because I'm about to cook her favorite dinner and watch her mood instantly improve. They're often very sweet, and it's adorable when they ask for help reaching things on high shelves or when they dig out their step stool to do it themselves. I just think they're adorable. Plus, many have a very small personality that is often the sweetest thing. At the end of the day, it's a matter of preference. Some women love dad bods, some love gym bodies, some prefer athletic bodies, and some like average bodies that don't fit into any particular category. The same goes for men. I love petite women, but I also love tall women who meet me eye to eye. I love curvy women, fit women, nerdy women. I could go on. Story 32. I don't think it makes me feel more masculine. It's more that she's more movable. I love tall girls, but in a different way. I'm only 5 feet 7 inches as a guy, but that's my experience. Maybe it's a preference for younger girls. To be honest, I'd assume it is. That is very unspoken unless you visit adult websites, but some guys like younger girls. Story 33. I guess men like petite women because it makes them feel like they are dating a life-size doll. Just remember to keep the batteries handy for all that charm. Story 34. I had a brief moment with a woman who was dainty and petite. I didn't like her because of her physical frame, but because of her personality. I will say, her being slender and petite was very cute, and I could quite literally hold her easily and she would enjoy it. For her small size, she had a cute figure that I loved to pinch, tap, or massage. Story 35. One cannot overstate the joys of holding a thin waist while enthusiastically engaged in a passionate embrace. Tarzan to Jane and all that imagery. Story 36. The woman being smaller and lighter awakens something inside and makes us feel protective and adore her. Story 37. A petite woman with a gorgeous face and an hourglass body is absolute euphoria to me. I cannot explain why, but it is probably related to moving around in bed with ease. As a tall man, I have no desire to make love to a 6-foot-tall woman. Story 38. If you compare a healthy man and a healthy woman, the woman is smaller. The man is larger and, for most of our history, men have been hunters and warriors. Women are supposed to have a reasonable shape and size, and so are men. I am working on losing weight now. I do not want to be unhealthy again. Story 39. For me, smaller women seem more feminine, which is very attractive. I know men who like larger women as well, so it is just a matter of preference. Story 40. I can hold them while I am shaving. I can carry them around in my shirt pocket. I can put them in my dresser drawer after I am finished. Story 41. Have you ever been intimate with one before? Petite can also mean fit and not fat. Being healthy is very attractive. Story 42. You're thinking it's cerebral. It's not. The attractiveness of the 0.7 waist-hip ratio is a lizard brain thing. There are brain scan studies on this. It's what pushes the buttons. It is wetware programming, and it will not be changed simply because some people decided arbitrarily that attractiveness is a social construct. It is not. Playing chicken against 500 million years of evolution is a very bad idea. Story 43. I don't know. It's not any one thing. I feel more comfortable being vulnerable around her. Like I feel I can be myself without being judged. For years, I thought I didn't like any smaller women, but over the last few years, a few on the smaller side have caught my eye. Still, I would prefer her to be between 5 feet 5 inches and 5 feet 10 inches since I am 6 feet tall. If she was 5 feet 3 inches, it would still be fine, not a deal breaker. It's when someone is below 5 feet that it starts to be a bit much. Story 44. I do not have a type, so I am open to many body types. In this case, they are cute, age well, rarely have unusual proportions, are easy to work with, and usually well-toned. Story 45. I once dated a girl who was 4 feet 11 inches tall and weighed 95 pounds. She used to ride with me while I was driving. You can't do that with women of average size. Story 46. I just like the fact that they are smaller than me. It is better to dominate. I am pretty sure it is the same for many men due to biology and other factors. It is just the opposite of women liking men who are tall and big. Story 47. Skinny, slim women have the camel toe within them. You can hold them, lift them, bend them, give them something to remember. Yell out timber when you fall through the chop shop. Story 48. I do not know why, but the petite women I like have incredibly beautiful faces and, for some reason, tend to be the most adventurous as well. Story 49. I'm a female, about 5 feet 5 inches tall, and roughly 100 pounds. My husband prefers very thin women because that is his type. He told me he does not like thick women because he dislikes fat. I feel the same way. I do not like men with much fat on them. I prefer men who are taller and muscular with around 10 to 15% body fat. It is just my type, just as my husband prefers thinner women, so it works for us. My husband loves slender legs and lingerie like stockings, which is another reason he prefers thinner women, as they look better in lingerie to him. We both also grew up during a more toxic time, the heroin chic era in the 1990s when Victoria's Secret models and Baywatch were popular, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. Story 50. Yes, everything looks bigger and is bigger to smaller girls. This is obviously an advantage for men. I did not even mention hand size. Story 51. I am 6 feet 8 inches tall, and my wife is 5 feet 2 inches tall. Hulk love tiny human. She can pick up the stuff off the floor and bottom shelves. Those get farther down there every year for me. I will gladly get the top shelf in exchange. And also for the reason that everyone is thinking, laugh out loud. Story 52. Because they are cute. Also, short girls tend to have a temper which is attractive to many guys. I am going to say it is probably subconscious too. It makes you want to protect them since they are small. Story 53. This is just a personal preference, but the prospect of not being trapped under a woman in cling mode because I have to pee at 4 a.m. is worth having to retrieve things from the top shelf. Story 54. Like all women, it is a balance of size and shape, curves and bumps. Petite is just a better shape in my mind. No idea why. Story 55. I don't have a preference for them, but there is definitely something very attractive about being able to pick them up and try different positions that would not be possible with a large or tall woman. At the same time, I love tall women for the same reason. Story 56. Men I know would have absolutely no issue loving a woman who is taller. Unfortunately, I cannot say the reverse is true. This comes down to a matter of personal preference, which is fine. Nobody should be shamed for personal preference. Men seem to prefer smaller women, and women seem to prefer taller men. Story 57. Men generally prefer to feel big in relation to women for the same reason women generally like to feel small or short in relation to men. Story 58. Cute, attractive, feminine, and easy to handle. A small feminine woman makes me feel masculine, which is the same reason women like tall men. Story 59. Being able to pick her up, carry her, and toss her on the bed. I can do that with 160 pounds, but 110 was a lot easier. Story 60. Big, small, tall, petite. Story 61. Probably the same or opposite reason girls like tall guys. Also, being petite implies a level of fitness, and most people are more attracted to fit individuals. Story 62. You can try all kinds of positions and they will be fun and useful. Of course, they have the added benefits of being cute and small. Story 63. I personally prefer tall girls, but I have always wanted to try the mastery position, which is similar to cowgirl but sitting upright, with a girl short enough that I can look down and see her face and backside at the same time. Story 64. I used to think petite women were what I liked. I was also much more slight and skinny at the time when I dated girls who looked like that. Petite girls definitely look very cute, and the way clothes fit them can be very nice. More recently, I have dated only girls who range from thick or athletic to chubby but work out a lot. So I am really used to girls having a lot of muscle mass and heaviness to them, even though they are still soft and feminine. Big hips, thick thighs, and so on. It has been wonderful. However, after years of only being intimate with women like that, I started feeling that the grass is greener on the other side. I have recently become close with thinner, more petite girls again. It was really exciting at first, but I have to say many thinner, petite girls have almost no skeletal muscle at all. When you touch them, their bodies just give way and do not hold a firm shape. It has been somewhat jarring. I also feel the need to be more gentle with them, as it seems like I could really hurt them if I put my full weight on them or am accidentally too rough. No one has complained, but that is how it feels to me. It has been strange to get used to again, and I already miss the advantages of a fuller woman. Story 65. Same reason I prefer smaller dogs versus bigger dogs. Smaller things are cuter. It is why we instinctively like puppies, kittens, stuffed animals, babies, toddlers, and so on. Story 66. As much as you hear about men being in touch with their feminine side, And women who want to be equal, I think the basic biological urges we have are undeniable. Men like feeling manly, and being bigger than their partner fulfills that. It is why many women want a tall, big man as well. As much as we preach equal partnership and relationships on an intellectual level, our biology is telling us something different from a physical standpoint. Story 67. They are great to look at. There is a nice symmetry. Even though the curves are slight, they appear enticing. Everything seems to be in place. But in reality, women with fuller figures feel better. Softer, warmer, and more cuddly. Story 68. The fact that you can twist them as you like without getting tired. Also, you look big and scary against their background. Most often, they are very cute, and when you hug them, you feel their entire fragile body. Story 69. Ever tried slow dancing with someone who fits perfectly under your chin? It is not a fetish. It is physics. Story 70. Something I have noticed with many men I have dated is they love how portable I am at 5 feet 2 inches. Whether it is giving me a boost at concerts or lifting me up for a kiss, they seem to really enjoy the size difference. Story 71. Their personalities, smiles, love for us, laughter, and dedication to their families and careers. Story 72. Personally, I do not. I have always liked tall women, but I am too short, 5 feet 6 inches, for them to hear me down here. Story 73. Dear Internet, why do men have preferences? It's the same reason some men like tall women or heavy women or pale women or dark women or any other feature. People like what they like. Story 74. I'm a man. I definitely do not have a preference only for petite women. It's about much more than that. Story 75. I am attracted to petite individuals, but it is mostly because they are attractive in general. I do not think it has to do with their size. Story 76. As a 6'4" 230-pound man who has had a couple of 5'3" or shorter girlfriends, the size difference can be quite attractive. That said, my wife is 5'10", and I thoroughly enjoy how everything lines up better, starting with hugs. Honestly, I also think it makes for better photos. Story 77. I think that from an evolutionary perspective, they trigger the mechanism by which we associate young with more fertile. There are many secondary sexual traits that leverage that association: general fitness, hair color, eye appearance, and size. Story 78. My wife is petite. It makes life a lot easier, actually. I just have to reach things for her more often. Story 79. Not sure. I am only 3 inches taller than her. 38 years. Never really thought about her height. Our more petite daughter, however, I am not sure if I parented right or not, but she is 5 feet 1 inch of sass and brass. Story 80. Well, better hygiene and health make one feel more youthful. I personally prefer to date and marry only petite or slim, curvy women. Story 81. As a woman, I think short women appear more feminine to men, and it makes them feel more masculine. I am a pretty tall woman myself, being around average height for men, and I often wish I were shorter because I believe I would be more attractive. I have dated a few men who were as tall as or slightly shorter than me, and I could tell my height bothered them. I have never received the same attention as my short friends or seen anyone my height get approached as much as they do. It is what it is, though, and there are many advantages to being tall, so I will accept it. Story 82. Sex can be amazing with a petite woman. You will be able to try some things that may be very difficult with a woman closer to your size. Story 83. It makes many dance moves easier, especially dips and lifts. One of my best friends and favorite dance partners is a short, strong Asian woman. I need good technique, and if I can do a move with her and make it look good, I know I can do it with anyone. It is a great confidence builder. Story 84. I don't like women with boyish features. I like a woman who loves food. I like women with whom I don't feel fragile during intimacy. And what man does not like breasts? Story 85. They are easy to maneuver and comfortable to cuddle. I think bigger girls are gorgeous, but they can be a workout in the bedroom. Story 86. We like that they are petite. As much as I like brunettes because I do, I do not know what answer you are looking for. Story 87. There is something cute and feminine about a petite woman compared to someone closer to my size, which would feel strange to me. Story 88. I would prefer a petite woman with a nice personality. Bonus points if she is active, rather than a woman with large breasts who is overweight or has a terrible personality. Story 89. It is an attractive look for most men, hardwired. Of course, men like women for different traits. Personality, character, confidence, mutual attraction, compatibility, fun activities together, and trust. However, the mind prefers a fit female body. Story 90. Petite simply means a woman under 5 feet 4 inches. They can have any kind of body shape from thin to obese. They can have large breasts, small breasts, and everything in between. Many men I know prefer the hourglass petite figure, around 5 feet tall with proportional shoulders to hips and a small waist with slightly larger breasts. Clothing size would be around 4. This is a brief lesson for those who are not aware of the definition of petite. Story 91. I like taller, thick, and curvy women. However, there are petite and even very short women who have sexy, rounded buttocks that look very attractive. Story 92. Not being overweight like most Americans is a huge plus. As others have mentioned, it makes you feel much more masculine when you are bigger than the woman. Petite also usually means short, which is beneficial for other reasons. Story 93. My first girlfriend was 4 feet 11 inches tall, and she was perfectly shaped for her size. She felt really good when we were intimate. She was proportioned perfectly and had a perfect figure. She was a lot of fun and easy to move around with. She was so cute that I could never stop smiling. Story 94. What I am getting from this thread is that men want a short woman to love, cuddle, and have great sex with. With tall women, they just want to breed and use them as incubators. That is it. Not to love, cuddle, or have a good time with. It truly sucks to be a tall woman when all you are is a walking incubator for men. Story 95. I am a 5'2" woman and date men 6'1" and taller, with most of them between 6'3" and 6'5". It is my favorite thing. Story 96. After reading through many comments, I think I have something new to say. Lower cancer risk. Story 97. Nothing against them personally, but I am absolutely not attracted to small or petite women. I'm not into super large either, but I prefer a little meat on the bones. Story 98. Petite women are like fun-sized candy. Small, sweet, and always stealing all the charm. Story 99. Different people like different things. If there were no variety in tastes, that would be a big problem for most people. People may give a reason, but it is probably just what they like. I like girls with noses, but there is no specific reason for it. I just do. Story 100. Many men do not want their partner to hurt them. Petite women, even when they do, will cause less damage. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.